We're bringing in Tom Green as well to hang with us because we don't want to have him waiting.
Yeah, he's a hoarder. Tom Green's a hoarder.
I'm a hoarder. Yes,
Are you a hoarder? So we're trying to get your help today.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Good.
You know the show Hoarders?
You watch Hoarders?
Yeah, I've seen it briefly. Yeah, I've seen the stuff's piled up in their house. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
My favorite one was
angering.
My favorite one was where they couldn't go upstairs because the feces were in the
bags of
yeah.
feces.
Bags of feces. Why would you keep that?
Top floor.
Why would you not?
Why
Why would they want to keep the feces? What do they want to do with that?
You know, I wasn't on that show.
You thank God, right?
Do you guys get to pick the shows you're on? We got a shitbag thrower.
I'm headed to a house right after this.
Are you?
In New York?
Can we go with you?
You'd have to talk to the powers that be on that one. I'm thinking no.
You're scared of us, right?
Yeah.
You're scared of us.
I'd walk right in. What are you doing?
Yeah, we would have bullhorns, right,
No,
Tom
you wouldn't.
Green?
If it was Nazi memorabilia, you'd go, where did you get that?
I don't
So they
hoard
keep
that.
bags of Why do they keep bags of feces though?
Yeah,
Why would
what
they
is
keep
that?
What's that? What are they going to do with that?
Well, I don't know that
does
they're
that
going
mean?
to do anything with that. Typically what happens is that as the house starts to get hoarded.
Things break down.
start to break down, exactly. And
I know this
so
shit.
because in hoarding you have such difficulty processing and with organization/disorganization that they come up with sort of their own strategy of, oh, okay, I have to go. I mean, there was that one that
They're
we're
just
talking
crazy
about.
people then, right? They're just insane people?
Well,
Yes.
no, you missed
You're
the
just making fun
first
of
half
crazy
the show.
people.
So
Yeah.
there's-
No, it's like when
he's
you don't,
accurate, though.
It's like when you don't have the cleaning crew come by in The Sims.
Yeah.
Everything gets messy and they pee on the floor.
Are you mad at people like us that just can't have an open mind about this?
Absolutely not, because, my goal is to continue to promote awareness. And, as much as you guys will probably say no, I'm going to bet that I've, opened your mind up just a little bit by the time that I've left. And hopefully the viewers, too.
Actually, the whole thing with the coddling thing, I now have a better understanding because they have the only other thing they've had is their family yelling
Everybody's
at them
yelled at them.
constantly.
Everybody's
Right.
done that.
So I'm not saying it's good. I think a good punch in the face, but I'm saying it's a different approach.
To get results, it's almost like I'm looking at it from a vengeful point of view. Like, why don't you go in there and deal with the anger I'm feeling watching them?
Yeah, because I'm putting myself in the situation. As I'm watching that, I'm like, how does the husband sit here and do this and not just get a domestic abuse charge put on him? Because I would have to just smack someone in the head.
Well, going in and having people scream at one another and just vent their anger, I'm not saying that that's not helpful, but I think that there's a place and time for it.
Yeah.
And just screaming and yelling totally detracts from what we're trying to do in that moment. We're talking about the Hoarder show, right? In the big picture, they're coming in for therapy. I'm going to their house. We've got a little bit more time kind of thing.
Throw a bag of shit at them.
Rub their face in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
It's plenty of it around.
Stop keeping it around if you just every time you...
You should train them like you do a
Come over
puppy.
here.
That's the theory of
Throw a bag of
people
shit in their face
is
every time you
just
come
keep
over.
doing that,
That'll
and
slow
it's only
down.
going to make things worse.
Maybe I'll start
that's the
Exactly.
reality.
keeping these around. Keeping these handy.
She hates the
How
jokes.
bad do they smell,
Not
the
a fan of
houses?
the jokes, so keep them.
Oh, wow, they would
The
really
houses
stink.
smell, right?
Have you ever puked?
No. The irony is what a lot of people don't know, and so now it's like in super public media here. I don't have any smelling senses. I had an accident.
God
Wow.
bless you.
Perfect.
Well,
for the show.
perfect for the gig
What a
that is.
great
Perfect,
gig
perfect.
then.
And that wasn't why they hired me.
You
but,
wade through shit. You can do that.
but along those lines,
Find
so
that
when you
lost
talk about the
engagement
smell,
ring.
I'm saying it's bad, and you're saying, well, why is it bad if you can't smell? It's the fumes.
Is it a texture as well when you walk into a room?
Probably a weight
Oh,
to
you
it.
can taste it in your throat.
Can you
I
taste
mean,
food?
Oh yeah. Everybody asked me that. Yeah. No, I can taste just fine. But it's the fumes, and then what happens is when you start to stir it up,
Ooh.
it's magnified so much worse because everything is kind of
I
subtle.
don't
So
know
you walk
how
in, you've got
you
one,
do
and so
that.
we pretty much know
That's
once we
beyond
stir it
me.
up, it's going to be worse.
What is there's got to be something that gets to you. Like there was the guy who had the couple who saved their shit. I've seen a few people who do that. To me, the smell would be bad, but the insects would be the part for me that I couldn't deal with.
roaches
I've seen
and-
roach infesting that was beyond. Like how bad are the bugs? What is your thing? Like there's got to be one thing that you go like, this is the one I can't deal with.
Well, there was a commercial where you heard me say, this is probably the worst house I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And when you saw the house, actually the house wasn't so bad. What happened was I did the walkthrough, and this was not on camera, and I walked downstairs to the basement, and they had a dog in there, and there was the toilet was leaking through the bottom floor into the basement. So between the winters, between the dog that lived in there, between the mold, it just was this perfect storm. And I have never been so overwhelmed in my life. And the irony is that when I walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, do you smell this? They're like, what? I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, and so what happens is people get used to it as it builds up and they don't notice it.
It's like working in a dump or a slaughterhouse. I mean, you don't vomit every day. You just get used to it.
Exactly.
Or this studio.
And along those lines, I mean, I don't think that people would typically look at me and think that, they would envision me in a hoarder house. But, it's kind of like a surgeon. When they open someone up and they're looking at things, that's just their job. That's just what they do. So when I go in, I'm there to do a job. And so that's why we're not so overwhelmed, because we expect this is what we're going to see. This is the reality of it.
And you don't get mad at them because you expect them to be, like, resistant. Like, when you say, why are you holding that? Whereas I've never had to actually listen to it, I would want to just go, throw it the fuck out. You're like, you expect them to go, well, it's important to me.
And the reality is why am I going to say that? Because if they could do it, they would do it. So telling them something that I already know that they can't do is sort of pointless. And of course, again, going back to everybody else has been telling them that too. So I've got to align with them in a place where, they feel like someone is on their side.
Do they see the house differently than other people? Like, do they actually see it differently than other people walking in?
Yeah.
They don't see a problem with walking through a little 1-foot pathway to a couch that's covered in crap.
Well, it depends. Do you remember, I wasn't on this one, but do you remember the one that had the lady that had all the cats?
Yeah.
And, you saw the cat's eyes were all, crusty and kind of glued shut by the infection. And she,
expected a Sarah McLachlan song to start playing.
Well,
donate some money.
I really want to be clear that, that I never see the show before it's aired. Never.
Really?
Yeah. So everything we're talking about is all stuff that the rest of you have seen. But I'm watching this going, these cats are healthy, and the one cat, the tabby or whatever it was, couldn't even open up its eyes. And it's denial. And I think any one of us, as long as we continue to deny a problem, we don't have to do anything about it. And so denial is kind of this defense, much probably like your family member, that if you just keep denying, then you don't have to do anything about it. And then the more that people come in and you're saying, throw the bag at them, do this,
It's very logical on Tom Green's
it's
part.
not going to go anywhere, and that's, as long as we can meet them in a place where, I do get it. I do understand.
Tom,
it,
you got a question?
It's kind of an odd problem that's maybe unique to this country, right? People that just have too much stuff. It's like, you look at, the problems in the world. There's people that are starving. They don't have anything. They don't have shoes. And here the biggest problem is there's people on the shows. There's people that just got too much stuff. So much stuff that they can't even get rid of their the bag of shit.
Are you saying they don't have hoarders in Somalia?
They probably don't.
Is that what you're
they don't
getting
have
at?
anything to hoard, probably.
They do have a show, Somalian hoarding.
Oh, they do?
But it's just like one horn is in the
like a
house.
tooth-
And I'm like, look at this mess.
Two
I'm
great
holding on to it.
What are you doing? There's a stick in the house.
Or they hoard hands that they've chopped off in political disputes. Severed fingers.
Drawer full of clips.
So where else?
You guys just can't resist, can you?
No, we can't.
We got to make it
You're
fun.
trying to contain it as much as possible.
You're bumming everyone out. We got to make it kind of fun.
Where is this crap hole you have to go to locally now?
Yeah, we
after
want
the
to go
show?
with you.
What, like what state?
shovel.
Is it
What-
Jersey, New York?
I can't say
Wow.
it.
You're
scared of
Yeah,
us.
yeah, it's
Wow.
all,
Tom Green, you want to go to a hoarder's house today?
Yeah, what shithole are you hanging out at today?
No, we.
I love that you can say
Would you
shit
get in
on the
trouble
air.
if we
How about
came
that?
with you with megaphones, and while you went inside, we just booed loudly through the megaphone?
Well, needless to say, why I'm not telling you where I'm going,
Exactly.
because I don't doubt
Oh,
one
we'll
bit
find
you guys
you.
are going
Yeah,
to have a
we'll
caravan
find you.
right
It's almost like the
behind me.
mentality of like when you see homeless people with the shopping cart and they got everything in it, right? And they just keep their shopping cart. It's a schizophrenic kind of thing
yeah,
going
yeah.
on, right?
No,
They're
it's
just
not.
crazy people that have houses.
I haven't
They're
seen as
not
many of them.
schizophrenic, no.
I've seen a lot of them in the
Used to
village.
as a kid.
I will take a picture of a homeless guy in my neighborhood who is truly a hoarder. The amount of stuff he has in one shopping cart.
Is it the
like
guy with
Tom-
the dreadlocks?
You've seen him.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He can't even
White
push
guy.
this thing. He will move it a foot an hour.
But that's his house.
I can't believe I've never filmed this guy yet.
That's not hoarding. That's his house. It's like if everything that you legitimately
he's hoarding
needed.
everything that he finds on the street, but he doesn't have a house to put it in.
Yeah.
I'll get video of this guy soon.
It's in a weird way I understand hoarders, but on a much smaller. Like I collect things, but I'm kind of neat. But I do understand how that could have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Like I would collect baseball cards, and I would just go like, I have to have it, and there would be no logic behind.
And if somebody was to throw them away, you'd lose your mind.
I would just nervously tick.
Hold on, Jimmy. Let's go with that because this is we'll get back to the real shit. Like, you're not a hoarder. Wait, how can I explain this? It's not just being messy. You know what I mean? And smelly and dirty. Can't you be a hoarder and be very neat, like Jimmy's talking about? Where all of a sudden your house is filled with really.
Like you neatly stack up your bags of shit.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
I want to see how many times I can say bags of shit.
I think it's degrees. You know, you guys remember Beer Can Hoarder?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know beer can.
Beer Can Hoarder, he
I
had
had a
over
beer can
60,000.
collection.
I think there was more than that beer cans. And, you know, he was the collector. And, you know, those were not beer cans. I mean, one is, you know, on the show he says, you know, I definitely didn't drink these. I'm not even a drinker. That he bought them on eBay or wherever he got them. You know, as we're walking through the house, stepping on them, smashing them, and these are prize beer cans.
Yes,
and the
it's
reality is
prized beer
something
can.
kicks in to where you might say, you know what, I've got this collection. There's a system to it, and I'm going to stop here. Or, you know, seeing a tattered baseball card that isn't worth anything, that you don't buy it anyway just because it's a baseball card and it can go with a collection. There's more of a system. In this case, you know, people are talking about being collectors. When it's really hoarding, is there's just kind of this sort of explosion of purchasing whatever fits, you know, whether it be Barbie dolls or crafts or whatever, and there's not as much of a system, and so what happens is it just infiltrates the whole area.
Is it common? How many of them are there?
Well, we think
How many
about
of these
3
hoarders
million.
are there?
Right around-
Millions?
3 million, they say.
3 million?
3
oh,
million.
That's good for a few more seasons.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You are loaded up with enough hoarders. That's
3
for
million?
sure.
Really? No.
Oh, absolutely.
3 million of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
if
don't
you-
have that in
Jobs.
Canada, Tom Green?
I don't know
No
if there's
hoarders?
3
I'm
million.
sure there's some in Canada.
That's one in
Yeah.
that's 1 in 100 people.
It is incredible, and where they went from
Wasn't
in
it
the very
350
beginning.
million? 1 in 35, 1 in 350.
About 300 million.
In the very beginning, when hoarders started, they were going everywhere trying to find people. And now it's thousands and thousands that are coming in, and they're just trying to ferret through and figure
Really?
out how to just tell these people sorry.
Those
Because
people that took that long to find their phones.
You ever get anyone who you think is maybe a fake hoarder, like someone's just sort of filling their house just to get on the show?
you know, there's
Gonna happen.
bags.
Fake hoarders.
I'm going to start
there's
that
been
today.
times when you walk in, you kind of wonder, you know, what's happening here, but it's pretty rare because they really are careful to ferret out, you know, really the people that can most benefit from these resources and these
Yeah, you're
services
not
that are
pathetic
offered.
enough. You're not pathetic enough. Leave.
We'll come back next year, and
Yeah.
you've got more
Work
crap
on
lying
it.
around.
She's wearing a wedding ring too. I can't stop looking at it. That is a rock on your finger. Are you married to a doctor?
I'm not.
Wow.
She made her own money.
Oh my
Jimmy.
God! No, but I'm saying she's
You
married
got
to
2010.
Her husband does a good job. That is a rock.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
Wow.
I bet you don't wear that in the hoarder houses.
Actually,
Don't
you
wanna
They
know,
wouldn't
we're-
want it. It's not a comic book or
Yeah, but you lose it. You're never
Shoe.
finding it.
insurance.
Oh, there you go.
You should punch him in the face with that ring. Wake him up a little bit.
Well, hoarders,
Stop collecting their shit in bags, right, Tom
Mondays,
Green?
what is this? Mondays,
Shit
10
bag
p.m.,
hoarders.
9 Central. Shit bag. Hoarders on A&E.
They should have a
Dr.
spin-off.
Robin
Just call it shitbag hoarders.
Zazzio?
Just
Is that how you
focusing on
pronounce
those
it?
ones
Zazzio?
specifically.
Yeah.
And,
Focus on the shitbag.
I love this show. Love it. A lot of people are talking about it. And yeah, I think it's a.
We're
I think
talking
it's a
about
big
because
hit.
it's fun to watch.
I know it is.
I don't really care if
it's-
these people get help. I think it's great TV.
But it's good on a lot of levels because it's educational for some people if they want that. It's entertaining if you just want that. If you want like the freak show factor, it's kind of like watching family members yell at each other. It's kind of fun. And like I said, yeah, it's educational too. So
It's like watching Celebrity Rehab or any other show that it's like you're dealing with
Yeah.
everybody our whole life. For the last, how long has reality television like been really last few years. So it's a chance to watch all of these things that every one of us has known existed for all these years.
I think that's an excellent. I mean, we look at the celebrity rehab. I mean, that was genius. I mean, it's been happening all along, and now there's a show on it. But same with Hoarders, and I think
I don't know if genius, it might be a little strong.
well,
I think that was an excellent assessment of the situation.
But, again, my involvement with Hoarders is I want to go out and I want to help people. And I'm here because my whole goal is really to keep promoting awareness and to help people understand, because I get that, in your living room and you're watching the show, it does make people crazy.
Oh,
it's very, very maddening. And
Ready to pull an Elvis and shoot my television,
watch.
I swear.
That's why people watch.
Angry. Yeah.
And the reality is if it wasn't so painful to watch, you wouldn't want to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's just it's very interesting. Very interesting show.
But you know Two and a Half Men.
Yes, exactly. You're watching a lunatic.
Charlie Sheen is hoarding great stories.
He's hoarding escorts in his hotel room.
Hotel bathrooms.
But you know
bless
what?
him.
We watched a rehab one time with a girl who was huffing the glue, and you wanted to smash her. She was doing the air. I'm walking on sunshine. And we wanted to strangle her, but they did an update on her.
Yes,
like a year.
I saw her.
She's normal.
Yep.
And you don't hate her anymore. It's like she was as hateable as you could be, and then a year later
She was
you're
embarrassed by who she was.
She's like, it was awful. She's like a regular girl now. You're like, oh,
I
okay.
think that goes back to the power of addiction. And a lot of people say, well, is hoarding a form of addiction? Well, I think it's similar in the sense that they can't see their way out. And here she is.
You're like the Dr. Drew of shitbag collectors.
You haven't even seen the show. You said you've seen parts of it.
Just when you come in with all this sort of scientific stuff, you really feel like Dr. Drew, except of shitbag collectors.
She could change her name to Dr.
Shitbag Collector.
I stopped.
Well, I'm going to stick with my name because I think it works for me, But I think, actually...
But it's an odd thing to be an expert in, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the reality is if you look at the show, there's pretty
wants to
much
leave
a
so
small
bad.
group of us that are going out there. A lot of people will specialize in OCD and other anxiety disorders. They say, I'm not going
Hoarder
in
is
there.
like...
Because there are realities about health concerns and things like that. There's some pretty dangerous situations.
Wind up getting some mesothelioma.
Dude, there's nothing that's going to happen in this room that's going to freak her out, by the way.
Oh,
she
yeah.
deals with people who throw their own feces. There's
I know,
nothing
exactly.
that we're going to say that's going to make her go, uh-oh. She doesn't...
I know, she's a pro.
For a living, she walks into houses and people have just rotted dead animals that they live with.
Well, I don't know about that. We could at least try.
It's probably the most sensible environment you've been
She's
in
a
years.
very nice lady.
Very lovely.
We do like you.
You're terrific.
Yeah,
We want to go to the
I
house
like when you're
today.
on the show.
What if we went
That's
there
good.
and we kept our distance?
I think it would be impossible for you guys to do that. I'm just not
I
saying
wanna
that
see
you guys
one
would
of
have
these.
that kind
It's
of
true.
impulse.
Have you ever have the neighbors ever come over and been like, oh my God, thank God you're here. This woman's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah?
they don't say the crazy part.
I
I'm very
bet they do.
sensitive to
No,
that whole
really?
thing.
They're crazy.
Do you ever get any weird airborne illnesses or rashes that you sort of find? Like, you ever get a weird sort of...
Great question.
You ever get sick?
Not rashes, but we've there's actually a show that has not been aired that's
You've gotten
coming
sick.
up,
I can tell you've
and
gotten
there's-
sick.
No, I've never.
No, I
actually,
can tell by the way you
really
reacted to the
healthy.
question.
No,
You just don't
but
want to say because
there's,
it's probably
we'll
really
get,
gnarly.
spider bites and,
What was it?
mosquitoes.
Was there something just really gross that you got? Like pus coming out of some sort
Some
of...
type of worm.
Some sort of worm, a worm.
That's a worm. You
ever
never want a
tapeworm?
worm.
Have you ever had a tapeworm?
Not that I'm aware of.
Tapeworm. Oh my God.
You've had a tapeworm, I can tell you have.
Yeah.
Can't you
Those things get to be like 20 feet long.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Is that a rumor? Or is
Yeah,
that
no,
true?
it's true.
No, that is true. Can you get some kind of disease from breathing in feces?
Yeah.
Or not a disease,
Tapeworm.
but some kind of illness or something?
Tapeworm.
I
would
think
think.
you can definitely
I
get,
think you can, too.
illnesses and things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt that it affects your
Yeah.
health. We just recently saw, it's really tragic, but the woman who was in stage 4 cancer.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
that was the house that I told you that
She
the
was
air
hoarding
quality
cancer
was
cells.
so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
And-
She was going through garbage on the floor and a bunch of dust and it
And,
was a
and that
health
was
hazard.
a really, really tragic
Shouldn't do that.
situation.
Tapeworm.
And, she
Yes.
was the one
Tapeworm.
that, bless
Tapeworm
her
cancer.
heart, sort of said, this is really hard for me, but I don't want to leave this to my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came in, and while it was hard for her, she got her environment in a place where the family could come in. And I think that for any one of us, when we're really struggling with something, that we have to dig deep inside and find a way to motivate ourselves and to push past, like what your brain is saying is right versus, what you need to do.
I love when they say they're a good cook, and you walk in and go, who the hell would eat in this crap hole? It's just, there's rotted food laying
Chef
all over.
Bumardee.
So again, defending
Chef
my
Boy, what a
clients
mess.
in that sense, the reality is that you look at hoarders and you want to
She's
say
warming up. She
they're
almost
crazy.
actually smiled there.
She'll smile, but
she's warming
we
up
just
just
can't
a little
attack
bit.
the people that she's helping. She's not going to go with that. She's a doctor.
Our goal is to have her laugh one time. That's all.
She's been laughing.
I've been laughing.
Yeah, she's
all
pretty-
night.
very
You
good.
got a good sense of humor, you could tell.
Were they called hoarders before the show? Or is that a name that the show
That's
came
what
up
we were
with?
getting at. We don't know when it started.
Like, I never heard of that
Registered
until the
trademark
show.
of A&E.
Well,
Were they
Okay.
just called people that just didn't throw shit out? Or
Look, the reality is who's
we
going
need
to
a
get
name
on
for
the
this. We
phone
can't call
and
it that.
call somebody and say, look, my house is hoarded to the ceiling and I've got 3 children. Can you come over and help me? That is not going to happen. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But who came up with the name hoarders? Is that something the network came up with? Or?
Oh, no. Hoarding, compulsive hoarding has been there for years and years and years. And there are lots of researchers and doctors who have come up with this term. And over time, we're just understanding it better.
Wait, the people calling for help though, like I got it. Like I'm in recovery from drinking and stuff, but I had to make a decision to go get help. So how come they don't have to make that decision until it's almost like I understand interventions work and. How come they don't call and go like, look, I need a hand here, like where I had to do it, and so do other people who stopped doing that.
But you were in the trenches too. I don't know what your disease looked like at the time, but at one point I'm sure you denied, you defended, you rationalized why you were doing what you were doing, and something changed where you said, I can't live like this anymore. And that's the place that anybody in their illness, in their sickness, have to get to before they're going to get help. And, part of my reputation is known for having that gas pedal to say, you know what, this is insanity. You can't keep living like this. And to what you guys are talking about is this is affecting the people that you love. And at the same time, knowing when to back off and to say, okay, I get this is tough for you, and to keep that balance going.
Like, I have a lot of clothes that don't fit me anymore that I'm afraid to throw out.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just because I don't know. I just feel like, well, I spent money on that shirt. It shrunk, but I have a closet full of this crap.
See, that's
Yeah.
exactly
That
what
is
the hoarders
exactly
do.
what we're
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
An early stage of hoarding.
You are
Not so funny anymore, is it, Tom?
No, I kind of feel like I have a small hoarding problem.
Before you know it, Tom Green's going to have shit bags of shit in his house.
Yeah.
But we all save
I didn't want to bring
on
it
a
up,
continuum. That's why he's here, right?
Yeah.
We all save on a continuum,
I keep them in the garage, actually. But,
At least it's not in the
I've
house.
seen that too, but they were in buckets. Did you see that one? The person who had the shit in the buckets.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in a shed. I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen until they showed the people who
The
were just
one with
tossing
the
the
bags
bags
up the stairs.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to love or hate them. I kind of love their complete like devil may care attitude about it.
Well, and one thing that we do have to keep in mind too is that, there's again a lot of information that doesn't come out, and I call the person, I interview them, the network's interviewing them, on and on and on, and then we get there and we find out, oh my gosh, we've got other things psychologically going on.
Some other issues.
Yeah, you guys saw the Dennis and Nadine one, Can You Get My Pickle? Remember that one?
Oh,
In the
yeah.
motorhome? There was clearly some other things going
my
on
pickle.
there that, that we couldn't discuss because, again, there's so much that's done that only gets on air that, it's not up to us what gets on there.
Yeah. You're just there to do your job.
I'm just there to do my job and do whatever I can with the time that I have to help them, because again, on the back end, hopefully they will follow through with treatment. And it's very frustrating. I definitely have to admit that, we see the ones that go out and then, you see the person's really angry. They're yelling at the doctor. They're yelling at the organizer. They don't want anything to go. And they've got this amazing opportunity, all these amazing resources coming out. And there's not much change when they leave, and they don't take the aftercare services that they're providing too.
Yeah, and they're
you
just
think,
shopping
Oh,
again,
and it's
and-
so frustrating because in my mind, I think there's one more hoarder out there that could have really benefited from this help that now is probably because it's an insane amount of money to pay a doctor to drive to somebody's house to spend the time for an
All
organizer.
those trucks and everything. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Why did you do this? It's interesting to me. Anyone who gets involved in why, as a person, you become are you a psychologist, psychiatrist? I don't know.
Psychologist, yeah.
What would motivate you to do that? Because you have to.
money.
Nah.
Right?
There's got to be something that makes you want to help people. I don't get it.
Yeah, why would you want to help people?
Nah, but I mean, on that level, though.
No, I
With
know.
my therapist sometimes. How do you listen to this shit?
That's what I mean. I'm
How
not
do you
talking
do
about
it?
generally helping people, but on that level, I don't
I
get
don't get
why
how
you
you
would
do
put
that.
yourself through that day after day.
Was there something, not to be too psychoanalytical, but was there some person that you couldn't get to that motivates you to, like, I don't understand it.
You know, that's the irony is I was the black sheep in my class. I basically told everybody I had no interest in sitting around hearing people's problems. I'm going to do forensic psychology. I'm going in the courthouses. I'm going to get the information.
Quincy, you were, psychology, not
Yes. Not
What's
Quincy.
that?
I thought it was like Quincy, like forensics. I got very excited.
Well, forensic psychology, basically people that have committed crimes, that are mentally ill, that kind of thing. So I was going to go into the court system, get the facts, write the report, sit in my happy little home office, send it off, and make my money.
More dough on TV, though.
And well, actually, no, I mean that's this is 12 years later that this Hoarders has come up. But then what happened was I did an internship and I started to work with people that had OCD. And OCD is not about talking it out and going into your childhood. It doesn't mean that those things aren't important. But the bottom line is it's all, not all, the majority of it is behavioral. It's getting them to start doing things differently. So when we talk about a hand washer, they have to do what we call the exposure therapy and test out their fear that if they touch something, do something, that they're not going to die or get sick. And compulsive hoarding is very much the same. The idea is if I throw this out, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to have intense anxiety. What if I want it back? That kind of thing. And most of them find that when they actually do it, it wasn't what they expected.
Wasn't
so
as bad.
It's so behavioral, it's so active.
It's just amazing that there's this much to say about it, actually. It's just starting to realize you just go on and on about it, huh?
They're having me back tomorrow.
You're
What do you mean?
yeah, it's unbelievable.
I've got 3 shows booked.
It's like it's
with them this
people that
afternoon,
people
I
that
mean,
can't throw out their
Yeah.
socks.
I noticed that she hoards the word irony.
I like.
They should have a celebrity hoarder spin-off,
Celebrity
Queen
hoarder.
Latifah has
so
too many
that's-
bags of shit
Has
lying
there
around
been
the
a
house.
Well, there's been a few candidates.
Really?
Oh, really?
I've got a bunch of old
You know
shirts.
who's a big fan of her show? Ozzy and his wife. That pleases me. Do you know that? Ozzy's a big
Really?
yeah, loves. Sharon said he can't stop watching Hoarders.
Really?
Makes me very happy.
That's interesting.
Well,
I'm sure.
Ozzy,
Curious
yeah.
what it's like to sit in his living room. while he's watching
I'm
it,
telling
know?
English money. Sharon, I'm sure they have. We've seen enough footage. Just money. They're rich people. Yeah, they don't hoard.
Piled up.
They hoard
Closets
cash.
full
Yeah.
of it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the difference between someone who's got a lot of money and has a space for everything. So, like, I don't know, I had heard that Mariah Carey has like 10,000 pairs of shoes or some
Right,
insane amount,
yeah.
and she's got a closet for them. When she walks in, she probably has some kind of system where she knows where to access those shoes.
So that's not really hoarding.
But that's not
just
hoarding
being
because
rich.
it's you got the money, you got the space for it, and there's a system and that kind of thing. Versus the hoarder house where you walk in, there's 10,000 pairs of shoes and you can't find any matches.
Yeah, but the difference is those shoes are among shit.
Yes, they're
That's
covered
the
in
that's the
bags
point I
of-
made earlier. Like
bag of
Mariah
shit.
Carey has a shitload of shoes, but it's all organized nicely in
Right.
these big, huge closets, and then in a
different
hoarder's
than a load
house,
of shit shoes.
right? And then there's
Yes.
a pile of shoes with like cat carcasses.
Well, and
Yes.
it's rare that you're going to walk into a house and just find one category. All there are just shoes. You're going to find so many.
No, it's
different
everything.
things.
It
It's
seems to be
everything.
laying all over clothes.
Exactly.
How many did Imelda Marcos have? 10,000? That was the obsession with her for years.
Sure.
People remember that 20 years later that this woman had
Remember her
10,000
for her
pairs of
dumb
shoes.
shoes.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. I remember something about, maybe I'm wrong, like financial problems with that. And that's, I think, one of the things that really maddens people, too, when they watch the show and they hear that people, they're in foreclosure or they don't have any money and they're thinking, how can they buy all this stuff, but they don't have money to pay their bills. And again, that's part of the illness, is the difficulty that they have resisting a good deal versus, at the end of the day, paying bills.
I got a good question. I'm a big fan of Twitter. I actually hoard tweets, but there's a guy, Conway Tweety.
Conway Tweety.
No, but he's got something.
Of course he's on Twitter.
But he's got something. He really
Conway
does.
Tweety.
I got a friend who stabbed himself in the arm with a pencil because he couldn't find a photo. What do you think his illness is?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's irrational,
you
right?
got me on that one. I typically have an answer
All right.
for everything. But,
this is really something that actually was setting Jimmy up. Jimmy talked about just that yesterday on the show.
Yeah, Jimmy was going a little nuts.
He likes getting celebrity photos. That is his thing.
He
even
hoards
though,
them.
Even though at this point he's more famous than most of the people he's taking pictures
No,
with.
I'm not. But I get
A
that
lot
it's-
of the people, you certainly are, Jimmy. You're downplaying it. but he couldn't find a certain photo yesterday, and he got so mad he actually sort of stabbed your arm, right?
No,
Scraped it with an unsharpened.
It was an
pencil.
unsharpened pencil.
Let's
you
see
know,
the wound.
It's nothing.
No, let's see.
It's nothing.
He took an unsharpened pencil and went rah because he was searching for this photo that he wanted and couldn't find
You get
it.
mad at yourself. You know how it is. You just get. It was an act of anger.
No, you're a cutter.
Well, I was years ago.
With a
but
pencil.
I'm a good boy now.
Were you?
Really?
8 years ago? Yeah.
When I was a kid, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a
Really?
teenager. Yeah.
Cut yourself?
Oh, many times.
Really?
Not in 25 years.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just want to feel
Glad you got over that.
something, man.
It was exactly what it was. Teenage melodrama. Notice me. And I was a douche.
And you know, Jimmy, I got to keep going back to you because, you know, one might say, why would you cut yourself? Like
Yes.
that does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So hoarding doesn't make any sense. Why you would take a razor blade or knife and cut yourself, that doesn't make any sense either. But there's an illness aspect to it that people can't understand.
There is, I mean, it's like it's you can't even argue that point because it's like people who drunk drive and fucking. I mean, I know people have done it. It's like nobody wakes up and goes, "All right, today I'm going to drink," and then plow into a family.
Exactly.
But you do.
Exactly.
You know, I hope no one wakes up and says that. That makes it even more devious.
That would be terrible.
Why are you drinking? I'm hoping to hit someone.
And I think we're in a society
alcoholism
where
joke.
everything really needs to make sense. We
Good
need
way
to
to get a
understand
TV
it.
show.
There needs to be a logical reason why we're doing something, you
Yeah.
know? And I think when we can get to a place where sometimes we can understand that it's not so logical. It's not logical for someone to cut on themselves. It's not logical for someone, you know, to get in a car and, you know, be drunk
Stab
as a
themselves with
skunk,
a pencil.
you know? But, or stab yourself with a pencil, for gosh sake.
Unsharpened
you know?
because it sounds irrational the other way.
Yes, yes. As long as it's not sharpened.
I
it's
bit my
fine.
calf. Do you understand how mad I was?
How did you do that?
I realized I couldn't. I was so mad at myself that I actually just picked my leg up and bit my calf.
Let me see how you
Yeah,
can do
I'm
that.
looking for a visual
I'm
on that
trying
one
to
too,
see-
you know?
absolutely.
Can you reach?
Well, believe me, I've tried to reach a little. I've learned that move for other reasons. It never quite worked out.
I got close once.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Let me see.
You have a big bruise
Right
and
on,
teeth
dude.
marks.
Now I can relate.
You know,
Me?
I've got a bit of a drive to my next show.
Yeah.
Maybe we should chat a
Number.
little
We
bit.
We should have a little talk.
No, I
fine.
can relate to that. I bite between my bicep and my shoulder, and it feels so good when you do it.
Interesting.
I'm not saying that we're normal here, Doc.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're all
so,
crazy.
We got
so
our
at the end of
issues,
the day,
but I
like,
know
you
I have
guys
my
get this
issues.
more
No bags
than
of
you
shit, though.
realize.
Yes.
Well, that's why the anger.
Yeah.
We got to take it out on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they say, you point one finger, 3 point back at you.
See,
I say that on dates a lot.
Tom, anything else? You good? You good with the hoarder?
Man, I'm almost afraid to ask another question.
Yeah, you're good. I think you're good.
I think I gotta. I want to talk about what I'm up to these days.
Yes, exactly. We'll do that after.
Michael's
we
pulling me
take
out
a-
of here in 15 minutes.
No,
I got-
that's
serious?
crazy.
I got to go to the Fox News thing or something like that.
Tom,
So-
but this will be the plug to it. Tom's going to be
I
too.
would like to keep talking about it. But I
Tom's
want
at
to-
Comics.
Well, I want to talk
this
about
weekend.
your shirts that you can't get
I know,
rid
but
of.
I know
What's
if I
up with
say one
that?
more thing to you, you're just going to talk for my last 15 minutes.
She's a little worried. I think
I'm
that's
afraid,
your
to say,
hoarding
I'm
thing.
afraid to say anything.
Yeah. A bit wordy.
I want to talk about me for a minute.
Perfect
Filled
for
us in
hoarding
perfectly.
people.
Tom has, what's today?
Should have been a 10-minute interview.
She's
an hour
filled us in
later. We're still talking about
perfectly
shit.
on-
in
on-
She's
bags.
great.
The
Friday and
show, I love
Saturday, October 29, 30. Tom's doing 2 shows a night, comics.
Yeah.
7:30 and 10 p.m. It's Comics New York, COMIXNY.com, and tickets very easy to remember. 212-524-2500 this Friday, Saturday. Are you doing it alone or are you with other people?
Yeah, I'm doing it alone. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, though. I mean, because last time
Yes.
it was my first time I played at Comics. I've been on the road for like a year now or something like that, and it's been cool. And thanks, Opie, for coming down to the
I
show
came last
That's cool.
time.
You got to come down this time.
And I fully endorse
So,
Tom
let's
Green
see if-
on a comedy stage, man. I loved it. Telling old stories and
Yeah.
man. Tom Green, really, really good.
It was
Tom and I
fun.
bumped each other at a sushi
Thanks for coming.
restaurant.
I really appreciate you come down. I know
Oh,
you, get up every
you
morning.
remember that I was there with
Yeah.
my 9-month pregnant wife there. Yeah.
No, that was awesome, man.
To
It was-
support you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
All
You know,
right.
it's cool, you know, because I
Did you
just
bring
sort
me
of,
a present?
Present.
Well, yeah, I got a bag of shit for you. I don't know. But,
You want to hang around? Because we're going to talk to Tom Green now.
Love
I didn't know
listen.
he has to freaking leave like
Yeah,
this.
he's-
I thought you were going to spend the whole morning with us.
Oh yeah, no.
What time do you have until?
When do I have till? 8:15. Yeah, yeah.
That's
till
it?
We
So-
can just keep going.
Yeah,
we
should
don't have to break.
Might as well.
Yeah.
We'll break
shouldn't
after.
it all.
Yeah, we
Break
can
after.
do that.
That's cool. And yeah, I ran into Jim in the sushi place.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
best sushi in the country.
Yeah, down
Nozawa.
Wait, he goes there too.
Yeah, that's what we saw. I told you we saw
love
each
that
other.
place.
Yeah, it's down at Sushi Nozawa. Ran into you there, and that was
Doesn't
cool.
the guy scare you though with the humpback? The main guy.
Oh, the main guy. Does he have a humpback? I didn't know.
Yeah, he has a humpback.
He's like the sushi Nazi, right? Like if
been
you
rolling
order a
back.
California roll at sushi,
He'll probably
Nozawa,
spit on you.
He's been
Okay,
hunched over.
I think you get kicked out of the restaurant if you bring a cell phone in.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely. But I started a podcast. I started my very first podcast. My very first guest was Bill Burr, who's a friend of you guys.
Yes.
Love Bill Burr. So we had a great. Kevin Smith has this podcast theater, and I've been doing my own little podcast out of there for about 3 weeks now.
Oh wow!
I've been
when do you
hanging out
do
with
it?
Bill Burr quite a bit. He's a good guy. So
When do you do the podcast?
I do it Tuesday nights when I'm in LA. It's on iTunes. You can download it on iTunes, and
cool.
And you get it at tomgreen.com.
Yeah,
but it's nice, so it's fun.
Tom's always like, you're always like, you at the forefront of like having an interview show in your house. I mean, you're a very creative dude when it comes to kind of keeping yourself out there, and your show is extremely creative. You don't seem to take the conventional ways of getting things done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've always liked the computers. I like the computers. So I mean, when you could start putting the video on the computers, I enjoy that. But I think I'm going a little crazy though. I think I'm going a little crazy this year. I've been on the road for a year now since I last saw you guys.
You've been on the road since the last time you were here?
I haven't stopped. I haven't been on the road I've been home I've been gone nonstop. I did. I don't think I'd gone to Australia yet when I was here last time. Had I? No,
I don't know.
I did a whole thing there. I've been everywhere, and it's.
How was Australia? I've debated going. Are they good?
It was amazing. I had the most amazing tour over there, and it was. But it's been. Yeah, it was great. Australia was great. Everyone's really drunk. The audience is really drunk. They talk to you a lot, though. Really
interactive.
Very raucous audiences. Yeah, which is sort of like it changes. It's fun. I got those two kinds of shows that I have. I have shows where people come to the stand-up comedy club and they're coming to see stand-up, and then sometimes if I play more like rock venues and things like that, it's a little more screaming and yelling. So
I can't do shows where they're standing. Like I like them. Like Brewer's an animal. He can do shows in a rock club where they're standing for an hour and murder. I can't do it. And if I do a rock club, I take less money because they have to be seated. Like so, instead of 900 people, it's 350 or 400. I can't do it. Can you do them standing? I can't do them.
I've never done that. Well, I just did a show in Toronto 3 days ago or whatever in Toronto, and we did a show at the club called the Phoenix, and they put seats in. There's normally not seats there, but then people were standing all around the back, so it was kind of like one of those kind of environments.
And I neglected to mention.
I don't mind when people are yelling, though. I kind of like that.
Oh, you like that?
Well, it's just different. I prefer it in just straight stand-up club. Like the best shows I had this year, I think, were at places like San Francisco at Cobb's. I played at
great.
Cobb's,
yeah.
And it's just sort of a real stand-up crowd. People listen to you. They're listening to what you have to say.
I like your videos, Tom. Big fan of the videos because you've been on the road for over a year and you're taking videos here and there. Yeah. And the one that made me laugh really hard, you just happened to be in Cleveland when LeBron James announced that he was leaving.
Yeah,
and you were trying to interview people on the street.
Yeah, the city was just nuts. People were just going nuts over there about that. But I make videos. I'm a video hoarder. I shoot videos everywhere I go. If you go to my website, go to tomgreen.com. There's like video every day. I shoot a video every day.
Do you really?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Good. They're all right, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to say anything. I feel like Robin's just assessing everything that we're saying and what type of
She'll diagnose all of us.
What type of sicknesses we have.
We're very easy. Most of us are very simple. We're not that complicated. We're all fucking. She could probably spend 5 minutes with each one of us. With
and
me,
know our issues.
you got your.
So let's just be clear. So you bite your leg.
It all
stab your arm.
It all comes from having oversized genitals.
It's a big problem, a real big problem.
But no, it's like we're fucking we're dealing with that level of lunacy or mental illness to be.
Yeah,
this is very mild stuff compared. to
I think the more I'm doing stand up this year, I've been doing it all year, but I hadn't really done this full time like this. I think, like when I say I'm going crazy, I think I'm really starting to, because you get up on stage every night and you're venting about stuff that you're angry about, right? And then you get angrier and angrier and angry about the world. And then you start to think, well, I can't be angry on stage because people don't want to see someone who's angry, right? But you sort of, like for instance, this Charlie Sheen thing, for instance, right? You're sitting there, you're looking at this, the guy's on the front page of the paper because he trashes a hotel room, right? And is caught with a bunch of hookers and blow, right? And then you look over at this TV, and then there's Denise Richards was on the TV this morning, right? And then above Denise Richards was the Elliot Spitzer was on the TV this morning.
What a hero, yes.
And then on your show, it's just a bunch of retards that like just keep a bunch of bags of shit, right? So it's like, what do you have to do to get on television now in this country? You got to either collect a bag of shit or get caught with a prostitute, or that's a great.
She did not like your assessment, by the way, of her.
Well, he might have.
But that's what's sort of starting to make me. It's starting to make me angry. It just seems like this sort of bad behavior thing. That's we're rewarding bad behavior in our society.
Well, voyeurism narcissism is also part of it, I think, because it's not interesting to watch people who are healthy. Like, it's not interesting to watch a guy who gets up and goes to work and has a loving relationship with his wife. I mean, that's better, but who wants to see that shit? I want to watch a guy who gets caught getting blown by, that's what made Hugh Grant a star. It was like the fact that he got caught being blown. Please, how many times I've done that? I just never got caught.
I think the other aspect, though, is that Charlie Sheen his career is blowing up in a positive way because
are people watching that show because they like the show, or are they watching the show because he's on the front page of the New York Post trashed? You know, I don't know. I don't find the show that funny. I mean, do people like that show?
I don't like the show.
I mean, it's sort of like some sort of. I guess I don't like that kind of middle of the road stuff.
Yeah, that horseshit sitcom crap.
That horseshit sitcom crap. I hate that shit, man. I hate that shit. But people watch it because it's like, oh, there's something to, there's like, it's like bugs flying into a lamp. You know, it's like. You know, he's on the cover of the New York Post today because he trashed a hotel room. They sent a private jet for the guy to bring him home to protect the golden boy, right? But it's insanity. I think the whole, we're all going crazy, right? So that's me. I'm losing my mind. That's what I wanted to say. I need help.
It's frustrating, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating
because you want to be on TV doing some real shit.
Listen, I started my show on a public access station, and I was wanted to do sort of a David Letterman type of thing, and I'm like, well, no one's ever going to pay any attention to this, so I went and sucked milk out of a cow's udder, And then they're like, oh, what the hell? There's a guy sucking milk out of a cow's udder on TV. Everybody look at that. Then they looked at that, and then they sort of see some of the cool things, the funny things you're doing in the background. But at the end of the day, you sort of realize you got to do something really fucking wrong in order to get on television in this country. Everybody on TV is either Lindsay Lohan, those people getting DUIs, people getting thrown in prison.
Very true.
I think
true.
But it's a statement.
Voyeuristic society.
It's a statement on us, not the celebrities, because they're just doing what they've always been doing. But it's the neediness of the public or the sick fascination with it. Because why can we not look like? Why can we not get enough of Tiger Woods? Why can we love watching people's personal lives fall apart.
It's also because we have like 500 channels now, all these different media outlets. There's so much competition that people have to go to the sensational stuff. Right?
Well, the media is also, it's very so cliche to blame the media, but they have become disgusting where it's not about getting the story right, it's about getting it first. And, they're ratings driven. I think years ago it wasn't about, maybe it always was on some level, but the news departments weren't supposed to make money. But now that that's the whole franchise, they're making money.
They have to keep
They have to keep viewers, keep ratings, because that's how the advertising dollars roll in.
So they bullshit the news to you every day.
And but they still have the whole thing of, well, we're the news, so we get away with more.
Right.
When it comes to the FCC, they have more lenience with content, even though they're driven just like sitcoms are, which is kind of
Doc,
crappy.
we're really smart.
Yeah, and I just canceled my Facebook page. You on Facebook?
Why?
I just canceled my Facebook because that's driving me crazy. I can't stand that thing.
Why were you obsessed?
I canceled my Facebook. Canceled it. It's driving me crazy. Too many people. So I'm off that. I think everybody should cancel their Facebook. That's my new.
I minimize mine to people I know.
Yeah,
just my friends.
What got to you, Tom? Something got to you.
I just think that
the haters.
I still get lots of haters on my website, so that's no problem.
As long as you're getting the haters, yes.
No, I think it's actually just because I have a general problem with social media now. It's not even about my personal one because I didn't really go on it that much, but I've been talking about how I'm sort of anti-social media now, and I've been talking about this a lot on stage, and I started realizing after my shows, people would be coming up to me and saying, well, you got a Facebook page. I mean, how can you be ranting about that? So I was feeling like a hypocrite, so I can't
get rid of it.
Get rid of it, yeah.
I think the social media is going to turn into something way better than it is right now.
Are you tweeting?
I'm still tweeting, yeah.
Oh, see,
I love Twitter, though. It's great.
You're a hypocrite.
It's a way to tell jokes to 50,000 people at one moment.
It's Facebook specifically.
You really?
Yeah, I think people got to cancel it.
You don't like when people invite you to a pillow fight?
I don't think married people should be on Facebook. I think if you're married, you got to cancel your Facebook
because it's all just about having sex or something.
Yeah, I just don't think I just think it was a better system back in the 70s. You have one telephone in your house. That's the way you communicate with the outside world. One phone. That's it. Facebook, you get information coming from all sides. You get these secret messages coming in the background from ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, you can find people that you never would have seen in your life ever again.
People that you never want to see ever again. Either.
Yeah. There was no way you would ever see anybody, and of course, cell phone. You have your accessible all the time, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Now.
But you don't have to answer the phone like you used to either. Years ago, your fucking house phone would ring. Hello? Oh, it's you again. This way, they just send you a message. You don't read it. So I kind of like it because even though they can contact you more easily,
you don't have to call them back.
And you don't have to deal with that.
See,
that's my problem. That's actually why I canceled my Facebook right there. You just made me jog my memory to why I canceled. Because everyone sends you the message, and then you look at it, and they know you've seen it, but you don't want to respond to it, and then you're like, suddenly an asshole for not responding to them. Or if you don't have the Facebook at all, then they can't get the message to you.
Or you can just write back, cool, LOL, send. Just send them some bullshit message back and then just be really dismissive, and then they stop.
Once again, Tom Green's going to be at Comics.
Yeah, Comics this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Come see my show.
I'm going to come by and see you because I'm in the city this weekend.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I'm happy that you're back in New York.
Oh, yeah. You want to jump up and do a set?
Oh.
If I'm allowed.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I want to get yelled at.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Have you come down?
You know what I liked about seeing you at Comics? You talked about Drew Barrymore. I was scared to bring it up on the show last time you were here.
Oh yeah,
you're very open about your.
God,
you stopped talking about
stopped
it.
talking about that. Yeah.
Oh, you moved on.
Stop talking about it.
Well, you know, it was I didn't.
But you were very
about
open about it.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to hear.
You know, it was kind of
you
like
talk about it.
I think what was going on there was it's the first year of doing stand up like this, and I think in the beginning there was sort of an insecurity that I had where if I jump up on stage, you know, I was thinking, oh, this is the gorilla in the room or something. I'm going to have to, you know, no pun intended, I'm going to have to say something about this, right, in order to in order to get out of the way. But I've realized now that it's just a downer. You know, it's just a downer getting up talking about being divorced and stuff. So I've stopped talking about that altogether.
Okay.
And you know, I've gotten a lot more confident on stage. You know, and since then, and you know, I've just decided, you know, I'm just going to keep it positive. I'm going to talk about funny stuff and stuff that you know is.
He's losing his
on my mind. I'm losing my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
it.
you should.
I see it.
Well,
now.
I see it now. As I move forward,
You're losing your mind.
Yeah, I know. Well,
just film it.
I've
Film
been
it
losing
right
my
to
mind
the
for
end.
years. I've been losing my mind for years. I've been losing my mind for years.
There's a way to process it though, where it does get frustrating, and you feel like when you start to notice everything and it starts to make you very angry, it's like you want to just go on stage and fucking bottleneck and explode. But there's a way to. Colin's really great at that. Colin Quinn at taking things that I know make him want to bite people's face. I know he wants to physically attack some of the people he's talking about.
Right.
But don't let it block what you're doing on stage, and he's the best at that.
But I think what's happening with you've been on the road too long.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break next week. I'm going to take 2 weeks off. Then I'm going up to East Coast of Canada. I'm going to do Nova Scotia, 4 shows up there, and then I'm taking a month off.
It gets old, right? The road.
No, I've been loving it. It's been fun actually, but it's just a little tiring sitting on planes all the time. My back hurts.
Right.
You know, but actually I have a great time. It's been an amazing year. It's been probably the most exciting year I've had in a long time.
And you're a big hockey fan, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
Toronto, I would assume.
Ottawa Senators. Although I am wearing a Maple Leafs jersey right now, to be honest with you.
T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, which is bizarre, but that's because I was just in Toronto and I ran out of laundry, so I picked up a Maple Leafs jersey.
Should have brought
at
some
the
of those
airport.
tiny shirts you have in your closet.
Literally, that's being on the road. You know, you're on the road. I'm living out of a tiny suitcase. I ran out of laundry. I picked up a Leafs jersey at the airport, but actually, I'm a Senators fan. I mean, the fact that I'm wearing this right now, oh my God, I'm gonna get beat up next time I go home.
Brought it up then. The doc is starting to feel sorry for you, by the way, Tom. You probably shouldn't have said that shitbag thing over and over again because she could have helped you.
You know, you're crazy, but you know, I hear that you're starting to get a lot more focused and figure out where you're headed and what you really want and what makes you happy.
Yeah,
and,
no, I think so.
You know, and I think that's a good thing.
It's a nice thing. It's a great thing to be on the road. Very independent little world that I've stumbled into here.
I can't go out for a long time. I mean, because basically the radio show, but even when I wasn't on, I go out for a weekend and come home. I never like to be gone for maybe 10 days. I never like to be gone for a month. I don't know how comedians do that. I could never do it.
I think it's just because it's my, probably the first year of really doing it. I'm just having so much fun writing and really kind of, I've become very addicted to it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's cool.
I've taken a week off here and there, and then I take a week off, and I start to kind of get really antsy, and then once I get back to the airport, I start to feel, home again.
You get lonely, Jimmy? You get lonely?
No, but I get bored. The road's boring. I like to go on stage in New York. I like to come back and do the Cellar every night or do stand-up New York or whatever club I want to go on at. I would rather come back and work on material than just be out, 3 or 4 days. What are you going to do, Thursday through Sunday, then you're off Monday, Tuesday? What do you do?
That's the one
Eat
thing.
a TGI Friday? It stinks.
That's the one thing that's hard when you're traveling so much. It's hard to stop and actually write new ideas and things like that.
Yeah, and go up on a Monday. It's good to go up on a Monday and do 15 minutes and tape. You tape every set, right? Of course you do.
Yeah, we've actually, and then that's the other thing. I'm traveling with my friend Tony, and we're bringing like 5 cameras with us, and we shoot everything multi-camera, and we're making sort of all sorts of web videos.
That's
and
cool. Yeah.
So
You know what?
I got hundreds of hours of That's the cool thing about this day and age. We got a 4 gigabyte hard drive with us. We're shooting hundreds of hours of video, literally, because we're shooting 5 cameras of every set.
Oh wow!
4 sets a week, and we're shooting like 60 hours of footage every week. So it's just.
Do you feel
racking
you
up.
need so much footage?
Well, no,
he's hoarding
probably not.
footage.
Yeah,
See, the
yeah.
doc-
I'm telling you, he's a video hoarder.
Well,
If we took
I'm
away
a video
one of
hoarder.
those cameras,
I'm a video
how
hoarder for
upsetting
sure.
would that be?
Well, I do a lot of improv on stage, and I just think that sometimes, whenever we don't tape the set, I think, oh man, that was that,
The
funny
fear
moment.
of not having something,
That
like the
funny
irrational
moment
fear
where
of
I went off
It's
on that
missed.
person in the
It's
front
gone.
row.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yes.
It's like it didn't even exist. If I don't videotape it, it feels like it didn't even happen.
Oh boy, you have some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom has to capture every moment.
Yes.
Tom's got to go.
Yeah.
You're saying you gotta go.
He has to be
I
on TV.
don't want to go. I
You
don't
got
want to
some
go.
TV. You
I
should
know.
come back.
You
huh?
got TV.
We blow off the other interview, or
We have,
Okay.
what time do we
That's
have
not
Huey
cool.
Lewis?
It's not cool to do that.
No, don't blow Fox.
Why don't you try to come back if you're in town for the next few days?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you
absolutely.
should do that.
I don't
I'd
want to
love
put the
to.
pressure on, but
Sure.
if you want to come back, we'd love to have you.
Oh no, anytime.
The hoarder
anytime.
lady will be gone,
I'll
so
be
don't
back.
worry about that.
Oh, leave Robin alone.
We love Robin. Robin is
To
the...
be honest with you, I leave tomorrow. I'm tomorrow.
Yeah.
I fly to Arizona.
Wow.
Do a show at Arizona State University, and then I fly back for my shows this weekend. So.
Oh, okay, so be here
So
Thursday.
I'll be here back. Am I back Thursday or back? I'm back Friday.
Your
so.
only shows, Tom, are here. Comics New York. It's Friday and Saturday. This October 29th, 30. 7:30, 10 p.m. That's a busy time around there too because Halloween is coming up. So that
I'm
fucking
thinking
area is mobbed.
I might bring a Halloween costume every night.
All right.
So yeah, come dress, wear costumes. Don't cover your faces though. I want to see your faces. I don't want a crowd full of people wearing like rubber masks or something.
If you had my audience, you would. 212-524-2500. And it's tomgreen.com. Or the website is Comics New York, which is one word, COMIXNY.com. And Tom, just hilarious dude, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Oh, great! I'm glad you could come down.
And before we go to break, of course, the doctor giving us great radio today. Robin, I don't know how to say your last name.
Zazio.
Zazio, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Hoarders on A&E Mondays at 10 p.m., 9 Central. And we all love the Hoarders show.
Yeah.
Hey Jim, if you come to a late show, and then we'll drink afterwards.
I don't drink.
Yeah, I've kind of trying to quit too, but I'll have a beer.
Oh, I can't.
beer.
Tom, one's too many, 1,000's not
We'll
enough.
have a Coca-Cola. We'll have a Coca-Cola then. You can have a Coca-Cola.
That I can do.
Yeah.
Although I'm trying to avoid aspartame now. So I'd be happy to have a bottle of water. I've really turned into a queer, haven't
Come to a
I?
late show. We'll have a bottle of water, and
I'll be happy just to read Zen and jerk you off. I really suck.
Well, definitely come to a late show.
Sorry you had to hear that, Doctor. She's very responsible. Definitely come to
Sounds like a
All right,
plan.
we're going to take a break and figure this out, so stay there.
The Opie and Anthony Show on the Virus. Sirius XM.